I'm joined by Mithali Raj, the former Indian cricket captain who was quit last week as the leading run scorer. Apart from her Bradman-esque contribution to women's cricket, she'll be remembered for all that she has done to bring women's cricket into the mainstream in India. Mithali, thank you very much for joining us. For half of your life, you have been in camps and packing your bags. Has it sunk in that there are things that you may not have to do anymore now?
I think my routine definitely has changed. I don't have to now get up early in the morning and plan my day or plan a week or plan the preparation for the next series. In that sense, yes, the life has slowed down a little bit, and there is time for many other things which I could not pursue when I started playing cricket.
Plans of getting back to Bharatnatyam?
I don't know. I might just probably give it a try. But right now, I have not really thought much about going back to dance. It's been a very long time when I switched from dance to cricket. But when it comes to reading, sketching, there are certain things that I have really enjoyed over the years, but never could get much of my time invested in those things. So maybe I will try to take them up as a hobby, maybe.
Mithali, at what moment did you think that it was the right time to let go of a 23-year-long career? Was it after the loss in New Zealand?
No, when it came to my retirement, I was very clear a couple of years back itself that World Cup will be my swan song. There were a few interviews which I've already mentioned that. I need to deal with the emotion of the disappointment of the last game in the World Cup, and I didn't want to take any decision where my emotions are overwhelmed and I'm taking a decision, especially such a big one. I had to take some time to deal with that, and then I went to the T20 domestic tournament. I felt that I didn't have the sort of the intent and the passion which with all these years I've gone to the ground. I've never missed domestic, but this time around I just didn't feel the right kind of an emotion to go on the ground, and so I didn't play the domestic. And I felt that probably this is a sign that I'm right in taking a decision as big as a retirement, and I processed that decision and I made it an official. But it was there a couple of years back in my mind about it, and it was just a matter of accepting it and dealing with it, and then probably make it official.
Now that you finished your career, if you were to sit down and watch your innings, which of the matches you would like to watch once again?
I think all those important innings, maybe the ones in the 2017 World Cup. I've had few very good innings. The 2009 World Cup, I remember it could be just a 40-odd runs, but it was against Australia, a match which we won in 2009. It's just unfortunate I don't have some of my best innings because back then it was not televised, so we didn't even have videos about it. But these are the few innings which I would have loved to watch.
Mithali, in the mountain of your ODI records, what gets lost is your 214 in Test cricket, the highest score by a woman Test cricketer. Do you have recordings of it? Do you watch it anytime?
I don't have a recording of it. It's just the memories that I carry, and a bit of what my own teammates who've been around and been part of that Test game, whenever we meet and we discuss. So there are a few things from their perspective. They tell me how they found my innings. So that's what is there about the 214.
Mithali, what amazes me about you time and again is that you played more cricket than Sachin Tendulkar did, averaged nearly as much as Dhoni in ODIs. Your win percentage as a captain is more than Saurav Ganguly. Let me ask you, which is your favorite Mithali Raj stat?
You just asked me a question that I wasn't prepared for. I think, the 7,000 odd runs in ODI would be,
and you have 10,000 overall 10,000 international runs. Now, taking India to the 2017 World Cup final that was held in England, emotions were running high when you were going out for that toss at Lord's. Have you ever felt like that before or after?
2017 is something like, because see, when you're playing a World Cup away from home, and the sort of euphoria that we created from the first game, we were not aware because social media was very new back then, and I'm not someone who's very active or addicted to social media. So back then, even I didn't know much about how to even get onto Twitter and everything. So we started playing, but all I know is like we've been doing well. And when we reached the finals, I thought that, I got another opportunity at making the sport in India popular. I felt the one which I lost in 2013, the opportunity where, India hosted the One Day World Cup and we didn't qualify in the Super 6. So when we reached the finals of the 2017 World Cup, I told the girls, I think we have a shot, at making the sport big in our country. And this is the opportunity. And but then I knew that most of them who've never been part of the 2005 World Cup, for them it is their first, first finals, and all of them were nervous. And for me, it was a different experience in the sense that, I was walking in for a toss in a packed stadium at Lord's.
I do remember that.
I've played at Lord's before, but not as packed as it was that day. And the sort of euphoria that you create when people scream and, when those drums are beating, and, that is something I've always wanted to play once in my life. When I started, I wanted to feel that atmosphere. And I got to feel that in 2017 World Cup.
I remember that, Mithali. Even for me, that was a goosebumpy moment. Would you like to say that was one of the turning points for Indian women's cricket?
It definitely was one of the most significant curve in women's cricket. Overall, even globally, I would say, because of the following, the viewership, and the follow-up of events after that has only, helped the sport to sort of, keep pushing it forward.
Mithali, what do you think will be the next biggest turning point for women's cricket in India? Would it be winning that ICC trophy or the women's IPL?
I think a World Cup trophy in any format, whether it's T20 or One Day, because that is something that all Indian cricketers are working towards, because we know one ICC event trophy can do wonders to the sport. It already had, despite we being just a step below, like losing by few runs in 2017 World Cup. You've seen that the sort of impact that it created among people in India, and especially for young girls to dream, to see themselves on the screen. They can also have the dream of playing for India. I think that would definitely change. And, the start of women's IPL for sure, because it can really help build a strong, strong pool of players. It might take a few years more. Right. I would not say from the beginning itself, the first year women's IPL would be like, help the team. But maybe in 2-3 years time from the start of women's IPL, we will see many potential players, because every Challenger Trophy I've seen, like Shefali, Kiran, they are all the find of this Challenger Trophy. So once women's IPL starts, you might find more of those such stories coming out, and see how men's IPL has helped in the growth of the men's cricket in our country. So I'm sure in a similar way, it will propel the growth of women's cricket in our country.
Talking a little more about your career, Mithali, I have seen you from the times that, you started 2005, 20 to 2015, those years spent in indifference and maybe desperation as well at times. What did it take for you to motivate yourself day in and day out?
There are two factors. One is when you wear the jersey, when you are playing for India, there is nothing. You cannot think of getting onto the ground anywhere less than your 100%. So that has always motivated me, because I know that there's so many people's expectations, so many people's wishes are backing me, and there's so many people who played a role in shaping me as a cricketer, and I cannot let them down. And I'm carrying millions of hopes when I represent India in big events. So for that, if I have to stand up to those expectations, I have to be nothing less than my 100% each time I take the field. So that has been my one of the biggest motivating factor. And second is that I've never believed in mediocrity, and that also has always propelled me to work harder.
Mithali, was there any friend, confidant or teammate who guided you in these years when, women's cricket was not that popular in India and you were navigating unknown charters?
Well, I've got 3 friends. Harsha, she's my schoolmate. We still keep in touch. Someone who doesn't really understand much of the game, but she's always been that one person who's constantly praying. Like, you always have these people in our country who like sit in front of the God when your friend, when your partner are playing. So she is someone who's always prayed for me. Whenever I told her I'm going on the series, don't worry, I'm going to pray for you, God is with you and all that stuff. So and she's been a great support to me over the years, and our friendship goes way back from school days. And I have 2 friends from cricket, like Aprajita she's a level 3 coach, but she's been my mentor over the years. I've discussed the growth of my game with her, and Nushin, of course, is my teammate from under 19 days. So I think these are the 3 people that I've always banged on tour, and I've never missed calling them up, who've been a great source of support for me, even in bad times and in good times.
Mithali, if there's one word I can describe in the manner you leave Indian cricket is healthy. Do you have a word or a sentence for it? I mean, lots of people have been talking about your legacy.
I think I'm satisfied from where I've started to where I'm leaving the sport. Yesterday, one of them asked me, "Look, what would be your legacy?" I've never had the right answer for it, but I can say that when I started, the way I was introduced to the sport was in an exclusive boys camp where I was the only girl, and then I had to switch camp because they didn't take girls, and the same camp today I have around 60 to 80 girls who enroll every year, and it's not common for a girl carrying a kit bag walking down the street. It's in back those days, but in today's time it's very common. People have accepted that, and it's now common to see girls playing cricket in the streets. Every academy enrolls girls. There is no exclusive boys or exclusive girls, but every academy is happy to enroll girls and train them. So I think I leave the sport in a good space, and I'm very positive that it will only grow from here into a brighter space.
I know you leave behind a very happy dressing room. Now, let me ask you this. In the current Indian dressing room, is there a youngster who embodies Mithali Raj's energy?
Well, they are of this generation, Rika. So because they are not like me. The minute they take a picture, they are already posting it on social media, and I'm like 2 days late. So they are like, "Didi, yaar, aap itna late dalte ho, tag to karo," and they are like always. And some of them literally pull the handset from me and they post on my behalf and tag themselves. So they cannot be me. They cannot be like me. But yeah, I'm trying to be like them.
Well, that's a very sweet thing to say, that you're trying to be like them. Now, your life story will soon be on cinemas, played by Tapsee Pannu. What is the best tip you have given her? Did you ask her to perfect the cover drive?
Well, when she was training, I was busy with my international commitments, so I could not really help her in her training. But I guess more than helping her, I've only put pressure on her to sort of told her, like, you better get your the game right, the cover drive right, because that is something all of them are going to watch you. So maybe I've added more pressure on her. But I think she's done a very good job. She's a very hardworking actor, and I'm sure, I'm positive she'll ace this role.
Hardworking, just like you, Mithali Raj. Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast.